Johannesburg on a trip down to Cape Town to go do some picking. We've got a motorcycle to fetch there as well as Grand Prix memorabilia from the 50s. So please come join us on this trip, and on the way we will show you a little bit of our beautiful country. We just quickly stopped here in Bloemfontein to fill up petrol, our first stop for the day, but next stop we should try and get the sunrise in Colesberg. We're halfway, we're at about 700 k's from home in a town called Colesberg. Trip's going really well, making good time. I hope you enjoyed our sunrise with us. Next stop will be a town called Beaufort West. Late Monday afternoon, been driving all day, 1,400 kilometers covered. Finally we can see Table Mountain to my right over here. Let the picking begin. We're here for one of the main reasons for this picking trip down to Cape Town, and that is to come fetch our new baby 1959 MV Agusta 150. But before we go and run away with her, let me first introduce you to the guy who restored her lovingly, and it's Martin. Martin, please tell us, what is this Martin all about, and how did you get into restoring bikes, and how long have you been doing this?
Thank you. I've been doing about 40 years. I restore mainly Italian machines. It's a labor of love. I've done a few Japanese bikes for film shoots and so forth, but my main passion is Italian bikes. This one I obtained about a year ago. It was in fair condition, and the reason I chose it is because the tank is original. It only required a valve seating, so the engine was in excellent condition. And then of course everything else had to be done. All the chroming had to be redone, put new spokes in, the rims had to be chromed. But the main thing is obtaining spares. As you can see, the wonderful exhaust pipe took about 6 months to obtain. The seat as well. This is original MV seat, original MV stickers on the tank, all the chroming done on the handlebars, and
I see period appropriate grips.
It is period appropriate wherever
all
possible.
the rubbers on the footrests, everything is, attention to detail is there.
It is. There are some things which are just not obtainable, and we battle to get them into the country, obviously. But yeah, it's been a seamless restoration, unlike everything else I do.
Yeah. But you say about 1.5 year project.
It's about 1.5 years. The big thing is to wait for the seat, the exhaust pipe, and the chroming. I had the chroming done in another city, purely because of the attention to detail. The person who does the chroming does it for many of my friends, and I wasn't prepared to skimp on the best chroming possible.
And you say all this spokes are new.
Spokes are new.
Newly laced, everything.
Yep, all been balanced and laced.
New tires.
New
everything.
tires.
And the best of all, she's a runner, and I think
she's a runner. Yes, I've
think
ridden her around the block a few times, and a friend of mine's taken her around the block. It's a typical Italian 59 model. It's old. The brakes are not disc brakes. It's not modern. You must expect what.
Yeah, and the gears are on the wrong side.
On the wrong side, but it's probably the best gearbox out of all my machines I've ever worked on in 40 years. This happens to be the best gearbox. It's so smooth. And yeah, the engine oil was clean. I had to separate the clutch. That's quite a bit of work on these machines. I make up a special tool to separate the clutch. They tend to seize.
Okay.
Behind me is another 4 motors, engines. I've just completed 3 of them, a Garelli, Franco Marini, Motor Minarelli, and all of them, the clutches needed to be separated. And that's one of the first things I do. Open the engine. If the clutch is in good condition, rest assured the rest of the bike is.
Yeah. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to take her down to the beachfront, cruise up and down, brag a little bit with her. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your loving restoration.
An absolute home. And the main thing is more people will be seeing the bike. It cannot be appreciated in my garage.
Yeah, no, and she's going next to her big brother. Bike we reviewed.
I believe so.
Yeah, the bike we reviewed a few weeks ago, the MV Agusta F4 Corsa. I think they're going to look nicely together. So let's go down to beachfront and give her a burn. Now that we've taken ownership of our new/old baby MV, we thought we'd bring it to a beautiful location, being a beautiful bike. We're at the southern tip of Africa, Cape Town, with the Table Mountain behind me. And I'm sure you can appreciate that the Rosso red and the ivory white really pop in the sun. I would like to take this opportunity to share with you the story and the reason for the birth of this bike, because it is quite interesting. Back in 1959, the Codice della Strada, which is the Code of Italian Highway, changed and wrote into their laws that nothing under 150cc may ride on the highways. MV used this opportunity to bore out their little 125cc called a Centomiglia to a 150.1cc, which is this. So in 1959 was born the 150 GT, and the year after, 1960, was born the 150 RS, Rapide Sport. Few minor changes between the two, this being based look on the RS, twin exhaust, narrow tank over here to tuck in the knees. The RS also had clip-on handlebars lower down, very sporty like superbike style. However, we're used to 200 horsepower in today's day and age. This is a total whopping 8 horsepower. So we have the slightly raised handlebars from the GT. I'll get on the bike now and show you. You'll see it's actually a tiny little bike, and it's way more comfortable in the GT handlebars. But a little bit more about the bike. It had a very long history of 10 years. From 1959 all the way production ran out in 1969. There were a few changes along the way up until 63. The rear suspension was covered. From 64 it was open coils. From 66 onwards, it had a 5-speed gearbox, but other than that, is pretty unchanged through its lifespan. There were about 6,800 RSs built of the GT 3,500 roughly. So now getting on the bike, you can see how small this bike really is in size, and with these GT handlebars I'm in a really neutral position and I can ride up and down the boulevard posing and being the MV of many. Having been lovingly restored as she has been, she is a runner, and I'm going to fire her up for you now. Before then, I just want to mention, you might have noticed 1 or 2 blemishes on the petrol tank. These are because this tank is original patina as it left the factory. We decided not to respray her for originality purposes. It's more desirable having the original patina. Being old school bike, to start her, she has 2 taps on the fuel tank, both sides, carburation with choke and a kickstart. Very interesting. This kickstart on the left hand side is out 90 degrees and she doesn't fold in, she stays out. The other thing is the gears on this bike are on the right hand side. You heel to up change, toe down for the down change. Let's start her. And we have the choke, fuel on, and off we go. Beautiful. A runner. If you've enjoyed the review of the MV Agusta 150 and would like to see more, we have covered the full history of the company from aviation to modern day, all 3 chapters in a previous episode. Please remember to click like and subscribe and follow us on Route 21 Garage.